If your community group is thinking about going live as your phygital strategy, let me give you a few tips. Just as a reminder, going live means that you're going to hold a digital meeting and a physical meeting simultaneously. This could happen on Zoom or this could happen on Facebook Live. Essentially, you're going to have a group of people in a room together in a socially distanced way, and you're going to have another group of people that are together online that are watching in to the physical meeting. And the people in the physical meeting can maybe see the people that are meeting online all at the same time. It's pretty crazy, but that's the world we're living in. If you're going to utilize this strategy, keep these things in mind. First, always test your equipment before your meeting starts. Especially with this strategy, do not try to set up your cell phone or your computer and your TV and the audio and the lighting and all these things right as your community group is about to start. Trust me, it will fail. Technology is great when it works, but sadly, guess what? It doesn't always work. There's going to be things that you didn't foresee, things that don't work. So prepare and test out your setup hours before your community group starts, or even a couple days before your community group happens. That way you know that it's going to work before that meeting happens. Here's a question. How do I connect my device to my TV so that the people in the room can see what's going on online? There's really two different major options. One is that you will physically connect your device, like a computer, to the television, or you can do it wirelessly by mirroring the screen on your cell phone, computer, or tablet. I actually recommend the old school method here of taking a cord and plugging in your computer to a television. I've found that taking an HDMI cord and plugging it into your computer, into the back of your TV, tends to be more reliable. It relies less on the streaming quality and the connection between your phone and the TV and the internet. There's a little bit less lag time. And so if you can, just plug it right in. Or if you have really fast internet speed, you're used to screen mirroring with your phone or other device, go for it. Again, just be sure that you test it beforehand. You will need an Apple TV or Roku or a more modern smart TV to be able to AirPlay or to screen mirror your device, which is showing Zoom or Facebook, up onto the TV so that other people in the room can see it. The next tip is always be sure to check your audio quality. This tends to be one of the biggest downfalls when it comes to doing groups online. Because the speaker is maybe too far away from the computer or from the cell phone, and so people can't hear that are online what's happening in the physical room. So make sure in your physical setup that the speaker, teacher, the group leader is close to wherever the audio source is, to the microphone, so that the people online can hear you. The next tip, when you are meeting in this environment, it is important for the leader to be a little bit more proactive in the way that they lead the group. When you're physically all together, if your group especially is pretty tight-knit, sometimes the leader doesn't have to prompt conversation. A lot of times the leader is having to stop some conversation because everybody's having fun and talking about what's going on in life. That just doesn't happen as naturally in a digital or a phygital environment. And so what the leader will need to do is have a little bit more of a plan going into the meeting. You might consider having an agenda for the meeting so people know how it's going to flow. You also may want to call upon people to answer questions or to pray. Hey, Susie, what do you think about this? Hey, George, would you like to pray for so-and-so? Particularly if you have people meeting online, call on them to answer questions. It's very easy to click the mute button when you're on a Zoom meeting and to kind of just sit back and watch what's happening. But in a community group setting, you want those people to be involved in the conversation and involved in the meeting. So be proactive and call upon those people to participate. That way, this isn't just people online watching what's happening. They actually need to be involved. It's going to take a little bit different approach from you as a leader. Next, it will be incredibly helpful for you to assign a chat moderator. This is especially important if you are choosing to use Facebook Live. If you're on Facebook Live, it means that the people who are watching your meeting online, you cannot see them. They cannot audibly talk to you, but what they can do is they can type in questions on their computer in the comments and in the chat feature. And so assign somebody else in your group to watch that chat. And if somebody asks a question or somebody gives a comment or an answer to something, that person can say that out loud. That way everybody in the group can be involved and hear what the people online are saying. Even if you're in a Zoom meeting or other video conferencing, there's a chat that can go on. So even if I can't physically talk to you through Zoom, sometimes it may be better, or people have simultaneous thoughts or questions they have that they can chat, and then the moderator can interject and to say something. Just make sure that somebody other than the leader is watching what's happening in the chat. Next, it's going to be helpful for you to record all of your meetings. If you're digital or if you're phygital, record them so that you can send them out afterwards to the people who weren't present. Here's a big tip. Particularly if you're using Facebook Live, you may want to set up a private Facebook group and post the live video to that group. Here's what happens. If you just go on your personal Facebook accounts and you click create a live video, and then you set up your phone or your computer in the room where you're having your physical group, everybody on Facebook can see what's happening. Everybody can hear the prayer request and what's happening in the group meeting. So what you may want to do is to have a group on Facebook that's private, that only the people in your community group can join. And then you go to that private group, and that's the place where you post the Facebook Live. And then only your group members can see the video, can watch, and can chat while the meeting's going on. Finally, remember that in a phygital, I still have trouble saying the word, I'm going to do it. In this strategy, it doesn't matter where the leader of the group is. The leader of the group may be in the physical space, but the leader may also, or instead, be in the digital space. It's okay to have the person leading or teaching in the Zoom meeting, and then there's another group of people who are physically present. This is going to be very different, again, from group to group, but don't let it stop you. If there are people who want to physically gather, let them physically gather together in a socially distanced, in a safe way, and then maybe the teaching and maybe the leading is happening online, and the people that are physically gathering, again, they're watching, and those two groups are interacting simultaneously. This is actually my favorite of these strategies, to go phygital, is to go live. If you have more questions about this, which I'm sure you do, again, every group is different, your technology is different, your familiarity is different, let me know what you need to do. Let me know how I can help you. I'd love to serve you in this way to make sure that you can make disciples in both the physical and the digital space, preferably even simultaneously using this method. Thank you. Love you guys.